Part 5. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin. Chapter 41. Xiezing took Xieting Zhou downstairs and went directly to a coffee shop below them. This was the company's area and there were no people around. There would be no paparazzi taking photos. Directly choosing a relatively quiet place, Xiezing took Xieting Zhou to sit down. The butler and bodyguards were 2 meters away. As a result, Liao Yun, the manager, wanted to hear what was going on up close and could not go there. He could only sit in the butler's room. I sat at another table to drink coffee at my invitation. But who the hell wants coffee now? Everyone wants to hear gossip. After the coffee was served, the father and son did not move. Xieting Zhou just looked at his son in front of him. It must be said that compared to his daughter Xiejiayu, who was particularly similar to him, his son's features were more similar to his wife's, even if they were not. Smile, these peach blossom eyes are very attractive to people. What's the matter with you being missing for 19 years? You said you have come back to see my mother and sister. Is that true? They have forgiven you. Xiezing quickly asked the question he wanted to ask, and Xieting Zhou would naturally not hesitate to give his son an answer. I am telling you this now. You may not understand it, but the fact is that I have been recuperating abroad since I disappeared. I only woke up recently. After I woke up, I immediately returned to China to find your mother and your sister. But I first realized that your sister seemed to be in danger, so I picked your sister up first, and then found your mother. They are safe now. They should be playing with my godson Lan Huan today. By the way, I recognized a godson. 27 years old, he will be your godbrother from now on. If you have anything, you can come to him. Xieting Zhou said, taking out Lan Huan's business card, and of course his own, with contact information on it. So sister is free now. Finally getting the answer he wanted, Xiezing couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, but his hands on the table kept clenching tightly, and his straight back showed his nervousness. He was not what he seemed on the surface. So peaceful. Yes, your sister is free now, and I have punished the bad guys. Xieting Zhou nodded. He couldn't bear to see the child in front of him so nervous, so he lowered his head and took a sip of coffee. The rich Americano was so bitter that it made people feel that life was meaningless. At this stage, Xieting Zhou still prefers sweet food, which can at least make people feel good. Where's Su Yunhan? This man whom he had sincerely thanked later became like a devil in Xiezing's eyes, making Xiezing hate him to the bone. He has been sent to the police station. He may be punished for various crimes and then imprisoned for life. Xieting Zhou gave the answer and then added. He is the illegitimate son of your teammate Shen Yunlin's father, so after I gave the information to Shen Yunlin's mother, Mr. Shen dealt with Su Yunhan's biological father and mother, and their family will be reunited in prison. After hearing this answer, Xiezing remembered the hot search he had seen before, saying that the adopted son-in-law and illegitimate son of the Shen jewelry group were suspected of job embezzlement and various crimes. It turned out that Su Yunhan was arrested. For a moment, Xiezing's eyes turned red. After all, the pressure he had endured in the past 2 years was beyond what a newly grown boy could bear. His sister fell into the hands of the devil for her mother, and he was powerless. Isn't this the worst thing in the world? A tragic thing? Now the person in front of him is back, this person who should be called Dad is back, and he should be happy to be able to solve all this so quickly, but in his heart he is happy for his sister, but the tears in his eyes are falling heavily. Come down. The way he looks when he cries is really similar to Huang Xinyu, or in other words, the whole family cries like this. Tears keep falling from his eyes, and his eyes are as red as a little rabbit. He endures all the grievances he suffers, and wants to the same goes for protecting your family. You will try your best to protect your family within the scope of what you can do. The eyes that usually held a smile were now watery as he cried. There was a kind of beauty like pear blossoms with rain, yes, but it was particularly distressing. Xie Zhou handed a tissue to Xie, but Liao Yun behind him couldn't help but rush forward. Mr. Xie, how did you bully Zeng? Did you make my Zeng cry? There was a reason why Liao Yun followed him. He was afraid that this strange man would bully Xie. Now when he saw Xie crying, he naturally came over quickly. But he didn't expect that he would be so angry just after reprimanding others. When I saw my baby, I suddenly burst into tears and turned into a smile. At this time, Xie eyes were still filled with tears, but the corners of his mouth were raised, revealing the two cutest dimples, and his tearful eyes also looked happy. Brother Liao, I don't blame him. I was too happy. I shed tears of joy. After saying this, Liao Yun suddenly felt a little embarrassed, and in the end he could only retreat silently, leaving time and space to these two people. Xie took the tissue and was happy for his sister's freedom. Although he felt aggrieved for a brief moment, he was more happy. Thank you for saving my sister. He sincerely thanked him, no matter if the person in front of him was his father or someone else. You don't have to thank me like this. Jiayu is my daughter. These are what I should do. If I had been by your side, none of this would have happened. This is why Xie Zhou feels that the system sent him here at the wrong time. Why didn't he send him here at the beginning? That led to so many painful things happening. Unexpectedly, Xie shook his head after hearing Xie Zhou's words. There are no ifs. We had a good life when you were away. It's just that my mother was sick before, and my sister and I were in a hurry. My mother and sister never blamed you for not coming back, nor did they hope that you wouldn't come back. He was still sweetly saying good things for his mother and sister, and seemed to think that as long as his mother and sister were happy that their father was home, everything would be fine. What about you? Will you welcome me back? Xie Zhou looked at this boy who had swallowed all his grievances. He was only 20 years old and had to bear so many things. He was really pitiful. Xie was stunned for a moment. After wiping away his tears, the corners of his eyes were still slightly red. He felt a little embarrassed at this moment, but he still looked at the man in front of him sincerely and said, I welcome you back too, Dad. Although he was a little embarrassed, Xie still called out the word Dad, which was a very meaningful title to him. You kid, you are so easy to deceive. Aren't you afraid that I am a liar? Xie Zhou finally understood why his son was fooled. He looked really easy to deceive. Unexpectedly, Xie shook his head seriously in response to these words. You must not be a liar. I can feel it. The first time I saw you, I felt particularly close to you. This is the most subtle connection between blood. Human genes are narcissistic, so under the influence of similar genes, there will be a sense of intimacy, which is normal. Okay, but in order to prove my identity, I'd better call your sister and confirm her situation. Wouldn't you feel more at ease? Xie Zhou felt that his wife was not a good person, so why did she give birth to such a little sheep son? So easy to deceive. After being reminded, Xie quickly took out his cell phone from his pocket and called his sister. Sure enough, someone answered quickly and it was Xie Jiayu. Sister. Xie Jiayu was also very happy to hear her brother's voice. Have you met Dad? Huang Xinyu and Xie Jiayu both knew about Xie Zhou's meeting with his son today, but because Xie Zhou said that he wanted to meet Zeng alone, they did not come over and planned to leave their private time to the father and son. Well, sister, he asked me to call you. Xie heard his sister's happiness and knew that the father in front of him must be very kind to his sister. Well, that's good. Aren't you preparing for the concert recently? So I didn't bother you. Now Daddy said he wants to see you first to give you a surprise. When your concert is over, I will take him when you go abroad to play. Dad buys an island, a yacht, a private jet, and several sports cars. If you like it, just tell him, Dad is rich, you know. Xie is different now than before, so she directly asked her brother to tell his father what he wanted. Xie couldn't laugh or cry. After his sister hung up the phone after chattering, Xie admitted that this man really took good care of his sister, and she sounded much happier. Now that my identity has been confirmed, let's talk about the 100 million signing bonus now, shall we? Xie directly proposed the signing bonus of 100 million, which made Xie expression stiffen and he was a little at a loss. Did Su Yunhan threaten you with your sister's photo? Did he ask you to give him 100 million? Xie didn't know how to answer the straightforward question, so he could only nod stiffly. That's what he lied to you. He knew people from Xinggui Entertainment. He planned to give you 100 million to pass the contract formalities and sign a 20-year contract for you, and then the 100 million left hand was exchanged for the right hand and came back. I can also give the people of Xinggui Entertainment a favor. Do you know how many artists under Xinggui Entertainment have been bullied? However, Huo Feng had already investigated a lot of information in one night. Xie Tingzhou could be sure that if his stupid son came to Xinggui Entertainment, sooner or later not a single bone would be left to be eaten. I don't know. Xie spoke obediently and then added. Brother Shen has promised to let the company run by his mother give me a signing bonus of 100 million. After saying that, he shook his head. I don't need 100 million now, as long as my sister is good. Besides, I have a father to protect my sister, so I feel relieved. As he said this, his pair of peach blossom eyes that were exactly the same as those of his wife looked at Xie Tingzhou in front of him with trust. How could Xie Tingzhou not feel distressed? So the next moment, a card was slapped on the table and pushed in front of Xie. There are still 23 days until your concert. I know you are very busy, but there are 1 billion in this card. The password is your birthday. You must spend it all before the concert. I will leave a life. The assistant will be by your side to take care of you and listen to your arrangements. Xing, for Dad now, money is the most useless thing, and you are the most important thing to Dad. Xie Tingzhou felt that this child had contact with too few people. If he went out to buy more things and saw more of the world, he would be less easily deceived. Xie was also confused. He looked at the card that was pushed over, thinking that there were 1 billion in it, and then thought about his father's words. Before the concert, spend all your money. Thinking that in the past 2 years, I had been struggling for 100 million until I was about to collapse, but now my father wants to spend 1 billion on his own in 23 days. Xie was really shocked by his father's generosity. Are other people's fathers like this too? Giving 1 billion is like giving 10 yuan? So, is there really 1 billion in this card? Xie felt his voice trembling, looking at Xie Tingzhou in front of him in disbelief. Xie Tingzhou nodded, and then gave his son an encouraging look. Yes, 1 billion, Xing, I believe you can spend it all. Come on. Dad is counting on you. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin. Chapter 42. If a long, long time ago, someone appeared in front of Xie and told Xie, when you are 20 years old, your father will step on the auspicious clouds, no. Your father will come to you in a Mercedes with bodyguards, slap a bank card in your face, and make you spend 1 billion in 23 days. Then Xie would definitely think that who could have such a weird and mindless dream. But now all this is really happening. The person in front of me was confirmed by my sister to be my father, and my mother has even reconciled with my father now. The young father gave himself a card, which said it contained 1 billion, and asked Xie to spend it within 23 days. All this made Xie feel ridiculous. Don't worry, the card is issued with your ID card. I know you can't go out. If you don't want to swipe the card, you can also pay directly through online banking. You can bind your Alipay or WeChat. Otherwise, it is best to use bank transfer directly. Others have limits. Yes, this card did belong to Siezeng. Sieting Zhou also felt very guilty for his son. He thought that no matter how much he said sorry, it would be better to do something real to comfort his son. Besides, this son is too easy to be deceived. Now that he has money, he also happens to have a long memory. Of course, he may be flattered by more people. Even if the money is spent unjustly, it is okay to spend money to buy happiness. Siezing really didn't know what to say, and the hand holding the card was shaking. I train in the company and don't need to spend money. In the end, Siezing said this. For the first time in his life, he was faced with the dilemma of having money but not knowing how to spend it. Moreover, Siezing didn't know why he felt a little embarrassed about spending the money of the people in front of him. Why don't you use it? You are the star who spends the most money. The clothes on the stage are free. The private server is free. Or the makeup is free. You can buy all these with money. Just buy whatever you want. If you don't have enough money, I want to find my father. I have nothing else and the most money. Sieting Zhou immediately looked at the life butler on the side. Zhang Yuez, the life butler, took a few steps forward. This is my life butler Zhang Yuez. He is the best at arranging life problems. You can ask his contacts to buy any living items you want to buy, including luxury goods. You can't buy anything but these 1 billion except for the huge manor. You can buy anything else you want. As the life butler arrived, Zhang Yuez, who was wearing a black suit and white gloves, immediately looked at Siezing and knew that Siezing was the person he would serve for the next month. Hello, Mr. Xie, I am Zhang Yuez. I will be your housekeeper in the future. I will handle your daily affairs. You can arrange for me to do anything you need. Siezing suddenly didn't know what to do. It was the first time he saw such a professional housekeeper. The last time he heard about this thing was in a certain TV series. It was said that the housekeeper in it was in love with the heroine. Do you need any more bodyguards? The ones I have here are all veterans of the International Special Forces. If you need them, I will give you a few. His father's love is about to overflow. Siezing doesn't even bother to blame his father for not showing up in these 19 years. Being so enthusiastic, Sieting Zhou makes his head grow bigger, not because of hardship and discomfort, but because of happiness. Dad, it's really no need. Okay, I promise, I will spend the money. Do you believe me? Okay. Siezing quickly stopped more of his father's whimsical ideas. Siezing always felt that his father really didn't regard money as money, which made Siezing almost unable to recognize the unit of 100 million. If his sister Xiejiayu hadn't told his father to buy it, after seeing the island, private plane and private yacht, Siezing really would not believe that there were 1 billion in this card. After all, when Sieting Zhou in front of him said 1 billion, it was just like saying $10. But isn't your MC boy band very profitable? Why do you live in a place like this? Sieting Zhou was very surprised. It is true that every inch of land in Beijing is very expensive, but these young people who have already done well in the entertainment industry live together in a large flat floor of more than 260 square meters. That's 5 young people. It really made Sieting Zhou feel distressed. It's okay. This is our company's house. Living together among the 5 of us is also a way to cultivate our relationship. We are used to eating and sleeping together. Siezing still didn't know what kind of devil his father was. Seeing that his son seemed to be very concerned about money, Sieting Zhou thought for a while and said nothing, feeling embarrassed to punish his son for not living well. As a result, the next moment, infinite black cards came to cause chaos. Drop, as the son of a rich man, how could you allow your son to work in such a shabby environment, the place you live in is so pitiful, you have to care about him in every aspect. Dear host, please help your son Siezing complete various problems at work. The startup capital is 5 billion and the task time is 1 month. The mission started immediately. Sieting Zhou was used to it, but he didn't plan to tell the child in front of him for the time being, for fear of scaring the child. That's okay. You are both young people and have common topics. As an old father, Sieting Zhou tried hard to understand any behavior of his son. After the two chatted for a while, Liao Yun over there finally couldn't help it and rushed over. Zing, Mr. Xie, I know you may have something to talk about, but it's getting late now. We still have vocal lessons to attend. Otherwise, why don't you wait until the lesson is over to talk? No matter how important things are, they are not as important as the upcoming concert. Siezing immediately became nervous, and then looked at his young father seriously. Dad, I'm going back to the company to take vocal lessons. We're going to have a concert in the middle of next month. He really wanted to invite his father to come and see him, but he was embarrassed to say it out loud. It was just so cute sometimes. Don't worry. I will take your sister and your mother with me. Come on. Sieting Zhou immediately saw the hesitation in those peach blossom eyes, and then encouraged his son. Siezing immediately gave his father a bright smile. This time it was really like the one in the advertisement, with a smile in his burning eyes and cute dimples that were sweet to the heart. Thank you, Dad. He nodded happily. Although Sieting Zhou was reluctant to leave, he knew that the concert was very important to Siezing, so he took him upstairs in person. Then he suddenly thought of something and stretched out his hand. Huang Yu from behind handed over the car keys. This is the car that Dad bought you before. Today's arrival was too abrupt, so I just asked the butler to drive this car over and park it in your company's garage. After you have a day of training, I can take it with you. Teammates go for a ride. Oh, you have a lot of roommates, but if it's not enough, you tell the housekeeper that there are several cars at home, and the housekeeper will send the cars out. This is probably the love a father has for his children, and some things are just waiting to be taken away. Give it all to your son. Siezing took the car key and didn't understand what kind of car it was. He wanted to say that he didn't have a driver's license, but looking at his father's enthusiastic smile, he didn't say anything in the end. Good. Butler Zhang Yuz followed. From today on, Zhang Yuz will be responsible for how Siezing's next billion will be spent. Not only that, he will also make a list for Sieting Zhou. After sending Siezing upstairs, Sieting Zhou directly asked Huang Yu beside him. Are there any new office buildings built near here recently? My son's company is not very good. The office building and the resting area are next to each other, which creates a lot of work pressure for people. Yes sir, if you need to purchase an office building, I will arrange the information right away. Huang Yu didn't hesitate. For example, some newly opened villas or business buildings and office buildings were all information that Huang Yu would definitely know. If the owner needs it, he must get it himself. Let's make some arrangements and find a few suitable ones. I'll buy an office building tomorrow. I want one with a better location, good sight lines, and a new one. Sieting Zhou arranged it casually and then added. There are office buildings here, and there's no good place to rest, right? Is there any better 7-star hotel? Siezing's company is actually located just outside the 3rd Ring Road in Shangjing City. After all, you still have to save money, and if they are too far inside, the car will be too congested. Sir, there is a 7-star hotel here, but it is far away from here. If you want to buy a working environment and a rest space for the young master, I recommend that you don't buy an office building. It is better to buy a manor directly. Next to Hongyu Lake, there is a new era manor that was built. The owner later went abroad and has been listed for sale in the past 2 years. The scenery is good, there are many houses inside, all work and rest can be arranged inside, and there are parking at the airport is very convenient. When Xie Zhou heard this, his eyes lit up. This is good. Then take me to see it tomorrow. The office also needs a beautiful environment to make you feel comfortable. As for the dance teachers, vocal teachers, etc. that your son needs, just invite them back. Xie Zhou feels that he must give his son a good working environment. At this time, Xie had already met his brothers again. He really didn't know what his father was up to, and he was surrounded by everyone as soon as he entered the door. My rich young man is on the run. His father has been missing for many years, and he returns domineeringly 19 years later. Is this how the script is written? Li Nangzi's eyes were shining with excitement, and then he raised his arm to let Xie look at the watch on his wrist. Xie was speechless. Zing, thank you for the watch your father gave you. We all like it very much. So Xie discovered that besides Li Nangzi, Ji Yanli, Gu Yunzheng, and even Shen Yunlin were wearing exactly the same watches. Knowing that it was sent by Xie Zhou, Xie was calm. As long as you like it? He was in a trance, and the four people who originally wanted to joke became serious now. Tell me, what's going on? Is that person really your father? He didn't bully you, right? Xie shook his head. He didn't bully me. He is really my father and he is very kind to me. I just feel a little nervous now. The four MC people were puzzled. Isn't it bad that their father is a rich man? Are you nervous? Then I heard that Xie eyes were expressionless. He asked me to spend 1 billion within 23 days, that is, before the concert. What if I can't spend it all? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 43. Ah! God, is this the pain of rich people? Too much money and don't know how to spend it? Li Nangzi was shocked. Even the others were speechless at this moment. They usually thought Xie was cute, but why did this child also play Versailles? But Xie father seems to be really rich. He spent tens of billions on an auction, so it seems normal to give Xie 1 billion? I'm serious, okay. Now the housekeeper my dad gave me is standing outside. I feel uncomfortable all over. Originally, my dad insisted on giving me a bodyguard, but I refused. This is what Xie really thinks. Before Xie Zhou, the father, came back, he was really just an ordinary person. Even if he became a star, although the star was surrounded by people, everyone was still working. Every time Xie earned, I obediently gave part of the money to my mother and then saved it all. I originally thought of saving my sister, but now it has no effect. So if you ask Xie to save money, Xie will do it, but if you ask Xie to spend money, he really has no idea at the moment. Is that a bodyguard? That's Uncle's love for you. When Uncle came to see you just now, we were all shocked. He is really young. He looks only a few years older than us. If it weren't for you tell me he is your father, who can believe it? Gu Yunzheng also sighed, a little shocked by Xie Zhou's young appearance. After all, Xie and his son, even if they were standing in front of everyone, they would at most be regarded as brothers, right? Feeling that he was being teased by his teammates, Xie didn't know what to say, so he thought for a while and turned to look at Shen Yunlin. Brother Shen, something happened in my family before, so I insisted on asking for a signing bonus of 100 million. Now that my father is back, everything has been settled. Brother Shen, you can tell your mother that my signing bonus is different from it's the same as everyone else, I'm not that anxious to ask for money. He also mentioned the 100 million thing. I cried for it at that time. It must be because something happened at home. Now that my biological father is back, I am afraid that the family issues have been resolved. I don't want it now. The MC just felt grateful. Zink is really cute. He is the kind of person that everyone wants to protect because he is sincere enough. When he wants it, he really wants it. Even if there are some difficulties that he can't tell you, he will tell you. Now that the difficulties are solved, he can obviously take advantage of it, but he still tells Shen Yunlin that he doesn't need it anymore. So it's true that sincerity is always a must-win, in any relationship. It's not me who makes the decision, it's my mother who makes the decision. Let's wait until we sign the contract after the concert. Shen Yunlin didn't agree or refuse. He looked at the child's eyes, which were still slightly red. He was as cute as a little rabbit. Lovely. MC and the other 3 people also laughed, as long as they knew that Xiezing's family affairs were settled, otherwise they would be really worried. After all, the incident of Xiezing crying that day was still vivid in their minds, and it made everyone cry. Let's train first, and we'll talk about the money later. You can't run away with it anyway. After you finish the vocal lessons, we'll help you figure out how to spend your money. Ji Yanli put his arms around Xiezing's neck to prevent Xiezing from being under so much pressure. What he did was what Xietingzhou wanted to see. Xietingzhou wants his son to use money to buy friends and money to buy relationships. You have to admit that sometimes money can solve 99% of the problems in this world. If not, it is definitely because you don't have enough money. Any way someone expresses goodwill is definitely a gift. While Xiezing was being taken to vocal lessons by his brothers, Xietingzhou returned to Hongyu Lake and saw his wife Huang Xinyu as soon as he entered the door. Sister. Suddenly feeling guilty, Xietingzhou smiled dryly. You're back. Did you see your son? Did the kid from Xing cry? Huang Xinyu knows her children best. Although Jiayu and Xing are twins, they have been different since childhood. Jiayu is stubborn and has ideas, while Xing is always obedient and considerate. Jiayu has known her since she was a child. He refuses other people's overtures, but Xiezing is a fool. He is surrounded by a lot of girls and boys who want to be his wife. Later, when Xing grew up and became a star, Huang Xinyu was both happy and worried. Now that she was fine, there was no need to worry. Well, he was crying, but he didn't seem to blame me. My sister has really taught these 2 children very well over the years. Walking over, Xietingzhou hugged Huang Xinyu in his arms. He knew that the reason why Xie Jiayu and Xiezing did not reject this father was because of Huang Xinyu, a mother, who had taught her for many years, otherwise these 2 people would not have been so fast. Except him. Hearing her husband's words, Huang Xinyu actually felt a little embarrassed. She pushed Xietingzhou, thinking that there were so many people in the villa, but found that she couldn't push him away at all. Sister, please let me hold you for a while. We are husband and wife. People next to you will see it if you see it. I went to see my son alone today, but I was actually very scared. Xietingzhou acted coquettishly against Huang Xinyu's ears, like a big dog, completely losing his mystery in front of other people. Probably only Huang Xinyu could enjoy Xietingzhou's appearance, and in the end she could only compromise and be held by Xietingzhou. Sister, have you returned to the company today? Do you plan to continue working, or will you stay with me every second from now on? Xietingzhou is somewhat looking forward to it. After all, there will be more things to spend money on in the future. He may have to travel around the world, and he can also have some fun. Besides, he and his wife have been separated for 19 years, and they want to make up for all this in the remaining time. I mentioned my resignation, but the handover is not over yet. Huang Xinyu understood what Xietingzhou meant. From the moment they met, Huang Xinyu found that her husband was quite young and clingy, which made Huang Xinyu a little uncomfortable. However, after all, he was the man she had longed for many years. Huang Xinyu quickly got used to it, and understood why Xie Tingzhou didn't want to be separated from her. Work is very important, and it was Huang Xinyu's means of survival before. But after so many years, her son and daughter have grown up. Huang Xinyu feels that she can be willful for once, learn the meaning of Tingzhou, and have fun all over the world. Buy, and reward yourself. Well, it's okay. I can wait for you. When the domestic affairs are settled, I will take you to play abroad. Let's go to the show. Haven't many brands invited you? And you can also go to the auction. There are many interesting things in foreign auctions, you can buy them and play with them. Xie Tingzhou is really clingy, at least that's what Lan Huan and Xie Jiayu who came back from outside think so. The two of them were busy from morning to afternoon. What were they busy with? Xie Tingzhou really spends money like water. Ever since he moved into Hongyu Lake, all kinds of luxury stores have brought him clothes and accessories of the season. Not just 2 or 3 luxury brands, but all the ones you can name. The managers of luxury goods stores have already been to Hongyu Lake, and Xie Jiayu's cloakroom was filled with clothes and bags. In the end, Xie Tingzhou bought another villa next door and put all the extra clothes and bags there. The ones he bought from Daxi City were all given to Lan Huan by Xie Tingzhou. In the morning, the housekeeper told Lan Huan after Huan said hello. Lan Huan went over to take a look, and Xie Jiayu also played with him, so the two of them picked out a lot of gadgets they liked, which was why they wasted time. As for these clothes, accessories, bags, etc., which have never been used once, then use them slowly. Lan Huan has told his parents about Xie Tingzhou's identity. Xie Tingzhou also personally called Lan Huan's father. The two fathers had a very friendly exchange. However, Xie Tingzhou is busy now. While waiting for the concert, Lan Huan's father and Lan Huan's mother also I will come over for a visit. After all, I have called him my godfather, so naturally I will come over to formally recognize him. Xie Tingzhou has a good attitude towards his parents, which makes Lan Huan even happier. He accidentally hugged a super thigh, and he was worried that the thigh would not like his family, but now he is relieved. After discovering her godson and daughter, Huang Xinyu pushed her husband away without hesitation. Jiayu and Ahuan are back. Xie Tingzhou glanced at his wife with some resentment, and then looked helplessly at his godson and daughter. Aren't you going to sort things out? Are you done? Although this organizing was conducted by 2 people and the servants organized it, it was still very time-consuming. Well, it's almost done. Dad, have you gone to see Zeng? Is he crying? Xie Jiayu also asked Xie Zeng if he was crying when he first came up. The mother and daughter knew Xie Zeng very well. Well, I cried, but I'm crying like a pear blossom with rain in my eyes, and I don't howl like you. Xie Tingzhou teased Xie Jiayu, and then saw that everyone was neatly arranged, and then he seriously invited everyone to sit on the sofa. Lan Huan, don't take Jiayu out to play tomorrow. You've been playing for a few days, are you tired of it? Lan Huan was named and nodded immediately. Godfather, there are of course endless fun things to do, but whatever Godfather says we want to do, we will definitely do it. When Xie Jiayu saw that her new brother turned out to be her father's yes man, she couldn't help but patted Lan Huan on the shoulder and received a silly smile from Lan Huan. Huang Xinyu also sat aside, and the servant served rose tea, which was very suitable for girls to drink. That's right, there is a major task that needs to be done together as a family. Xie Tingzhou looked serious, and the other 3 people also looked at Xie Tingzhou very seriously, thinking that there was something big going on. The 3 life butlers on the side were also very serious. Didn't I go to see Zinc today? The old company building in Zinc is not good. Although there is a place to stay next door, the place to live is not good. I want to prepare a good working environment for Zinc, so I said the office building must be new, as well as the place to live. What do you think? Come on. Spending money again, Huang Xinyu couldn't laugh or cry for a moment. Lan Huan immediately envied Xie Xing for having such a biological father, but he also felt that his godfather was right. The family was so rich, why should Xing suffer? Xie Jiayu, on the other hand, has understood her father's money-making ability in the past few days and nodded seriously. Okay. Bye. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 44. Xie Xing still doesn't know how much of a surprise his family will bring him. He is currently busy preparing for the concert. On the surface, this is the last concert of their MC group. After all, like multiplayer draft groups like theirs are limited groups. The so-called limited groups have time limits. 2 years have passed by in a flash. In fact, many people will eventually return to their own companies. However, the 5 members of the MC boy group are close to each other, and they met a rich man like Shen Yunlin, so everyone can continue to stay together. But even so, everyone attaches great importance to the upcoming concert. In addition to group performances, there are also individual performances in a concert. This is a big test for everyone. In addition, the first performance was at the Bird's Nest in Shangjing City, which could accommodate a lot of people, so they were even more nervous. After the MC boy group began to officially prepare for the project, the concert called MC Goodbye Concert has already started pre-sale tickets. It can be said that the response has been excellent. The tickets were sold out not long after the opening. In order to be worthy of the audience, these 5 members of the MC boy group work so hard. After the vocal class in the afternoon, my throat was almost smoking, but I still had to take the dance class. It was impossible to turn on the air conditioner in the dance studio, so even if it was too hot, there was nothing we could do. The 5 of us were sweating profusely amidst the sound of the dance teacher's training. 1. 2. Keep up with me. Your movements must be clean and tidy. What is Gu Yun's Hung doing? Do you paddle like this when you get to the stage to show the fans? The dance teacher who trained me was very serious and uncomfortable, and my hair was all wet and stuck to my body. But that's what idols are like. They are singing and dancing idols, and they are destined to be born on the stage, so all the hard work behind the scenes is done for the stage. It's all worth it. There is a mirror on the wall in the dance studio. You can see 5 people in the mirror whose movements are not neat. The teachers will correct them and then lead everyone to continue repeating. It took practice over and over again to develop their team spirit. Generally speaking, if anyone in the team makes a mistake, the teacher will punish them as a whole, so that everyone's relationship will get better and better. After another hour, everyone was so tired that they were sore and weak, but still performed very clean and neat dance moves. The dance teacher was satisfied. Okay, let's rest. Don't sit on the ground when you stop, and don't drink cold water. Following the teacher's words, the 5 people hugged each other in 2s and 3s, just to give weight to each other's professional titles. At this moment, someone's voice was heard. Teacher, can I come in? The speaker was none other than Zhang Yu's, the life steward. He was holding a plate with 45-degree warm water in it. Even the teacher had it. There was a special kind of edible salt in it. After drinking it, one can regain his energy very fast. This is what Zhang Yu's came up with after specially contacting a friend who is a nutritionist. The teacher also knew Zhang Yu's identity and nodded. Come in, but what kind of water is this? Xie Xing can't drink it randomly. The teacher is very responsible. Zhang Yu's also changed from Mr. Xie to Mr. Xie in order to express himself. He must always show his value. This is salt water. It can replenish your physical strength. Teacher, do you need it? 45 degrees? You can drink it after exercise. After hearing this, the teacher was relieved. He picked up a cup and took a sip. Sure enough, it had a slight salty taste and the temperature was moderate. After a brief taste, people would feel less thirsty. Well, it's pretty good, as the teacher said. Zhang Yuz brought the water to the MC people to drink. As expected, everyone was holding the cup and sipping it. It was so cute. After the teacher finished drinking the water, he announced that get out of class was over and asked them to rest here before going back to the dormitory to rest. Recently, they started training at 6 in the morning and lasted until 8 in the evening, 12 hours a day. It can be said that they are really tired. After drinking water, everyone slowly sat on the floor of the dance studio to rest, which was their usual state. The 5 people sat back to back like a sunflower, and now there was a new topic of conversation. Zink, I was thinking when I was dancing, don't you know how to spend your money? Then let's customize the dress for the concert. Can you help us customize the style to be super beautiful? I heard from the manager that we can customize new performance clothes. A concert costs hundreds of thousands, and the company also gives hundreds of thousands, but it doesn't seem to be enough. If you really don't know how to use it, it would be great to customize the performance clothes, although it takes up a lot of your money. Suspected of being cheap, he. Ji Yanli rarely spoke up, because it wasn't because he looked down on the costumes customized by the company, but because their MC men's group was about to disband. In addition to Ji Yanli, Gu Yunzheng and Li Nangzi had to terminate their contracts with their previous companies, and the MC men's group only they themselves know that there is no disbandment, everyone else is just trying to make money. This is MC's last concert in their eyes, so it's natural to make money. It's okay if things are cheap, it's just to make money from fans. Yes, although we know that we will always be together, the fans don't know. While they are happy to attend our concert, they think that our boy band is going to disband. How sad. Otherwise, let's discuss it with the company. Let's customize some cheering sticks for fans. Li Nangzi also nodded. In the past 2 years, they have become famous together, and they have seen the enthusiasm of fans together, so they hope that they can stay on the stage. I can do these, too. Without Zing, Shen Yunlin spoke up, thinking that everyone's thinking was wrong. Xie Zing's money was his, but it didn't mean that he could take advantage of Xie Zing. Gu Yunzheng didn't say anything, just rested quietly. As a person who was proficient in singing, he was really not good at dancing, and was too tired to speak. It's okay, Brother Shen, Brother Nan, Brother Ji, what you said are all small things. Let's arrange it. Xie Zing took a deep breath, smoothed the wet hair on his forehead, and then looked at the housekeeper. Can I spend this money on our concert? He knew that his father's asking the housekeeper to follow him must be useful, so he consulted the housekeeper at this time. Of course you can. Zhang Yuz nodded immediately, and then added. I know some costume designers who specialize in designing stage costumes. If you need it, I can contact them tomorrow to come and design costumes for you for your stage, and ensure that they are completed before the concert. This is a necessary ability for a professional life housekeeper. Xie Zing was stunned for a moment, but still nodded. Okay, see you tomorrow. He chose to believe Zhang Yuz, and after resting with his brothers, they all went to take a shower and planned to rest at home. However, after taking a shower, he accidentally touched the car key given by his father. To be honest, Xie Zing felt that he was just a local dog. The car key could not tell what car it was. So when everyone changed their clothes and came out, Xie Zing took the initiative. Before we go home, why don't we go and see the car my father gave me? I don't know what brand this car is, I forgot to ask. He took out the key to show everyone. As expected, Li Nangzi, Ji Yanli, and Gu Yunzheng didn't recognize it. Everyone looked eagerly at Shen Yunlin, who had seen the world. But Shen Yunlin was really born rich and gave an answer immediately. Have you heard of Pagani Win's son? The four of them were silent for a moment, and then looked at each other, with eyes that showed they didn't know. Let's go and have a look. The five people plus the housekeeper Zhang Yuz went to the garage at the bottom. As Xiezing pressed the car key and heard the sound, everyone walked over and saw the blue Pagani Zonda supercar. The overall smooth lines and the gorgeous blue light parked there made the boys simply unable to open their eyes, and they quickly rushed over to touch it. Xiezing also likes cars. Looking at this blue supercar at this time, it would be a lie to say that he doesn't like it. His face was full of smiles, and he decided to take a driver's license test after the concert. Oh my god! Such a cool supercar! How many millions does this cost? Oh my god, it looks so expensive, I don't dare to touch it. Shen Yunlin listened to his teammate's ignorant appearance and deliberately laughed and teased. Then don't touch it. This is not a car worth millions, but tens of millions. You can't afford to sell it if you touch it. Now everyone realized that there were really no other cars parked around this car. Xiezing was the youngest in the whole team, so when he saw these brothers so happy, he raised the key directly. It's a pity that there is only one car, and I don't have a driver's license. Who wants to drive? As soon as he said this, Li Nangzi, Ji Yanli and others immediately chased him to get the car keys. After thinking of his father's words, he turned his head and looked at Zhang Yuz. My dad said that there are several sports cars at home. Can you send 3 more? Let the brothers play with them. Xiezing has never been a stingy person, so he is happy to see everyone happy. Besides, isn't a car meant to be driven? He now has 1 billion yuan, so he doesn't think a sports car needs to be collected as a treasure. Okay, Mr. Xie, I'll arrange for someone to send it. So this night was destined to be happy for several people in the MC boy group. The Xie family quickly sent 3 sports cars, and each person could drive one temporarily. Only Xiezing, who didn't have a driver's license, sat in a car with the housekeeper. The housekeeper Zhang Yuz drove the most low-key Maybach. All the teammates invited Xiezing, but he refused, thinking that it was a bit strange to sit in the passenger seat of a supercar. Their destination was not home, but they planned to treat everyone to a big meal. After all, they were rich, so how could they not have a good meal? So they sneaked out even though they knew that their agent would not let them eat more. The cool supercar was soaking in the streets of Shangjing City, attracting a lot of onlookers. The MC boy group wore sunglasses, thinking that there would not be so much attention, but as soon as they entered the private restaurant, they became a hot search. Hashtag everyone in the MC boy group drove a top supercar hashtag. Hashtag where is Xiezing? Hashtag. These two were just looking for trouble when they were next to each other. Anyway, it was not a good hot search. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 45. The MC boy group has a lot of fans, and most of them were fans in the early years. So after the hot search went up, fans immediately went to watch it, and then they saw the paparazzi's candid photos that were comparable to blockbusters. Originally, everyone wanted to come over and scold me, but they thought you were a paparazzi and secretly photographed me. After clicking in the result, the photo was really good, I will take more photos in the future. I saw the 5 members of the MC boy group except Xiezing. Shen Yunlin was driving a blue Pagani Zonda, Li Nangzi was driving a black Poison, the quarter party was a silver Rolls-Royce Phantom, and Gu Yunzheng was driving a green supercar. Photographed by the paparazzi, the top-notch supercar and the good looks of the 4 members of the MC boy band formed a very gorgeous blockbuster. In the bustling city of Shangjing, the neon lights flashed. Such handsome guys coupled with such expensive supercars can be released directly into movies. It can be said that while praising these luxury cars, they also praised the appearance of the 4 people more. They all said what kind of talents can sit in their co-pilots, and all the boy bands these days are so profitable. Buy a supercar in 2 years? Some netizens who don't know what they are saying are very unpleasant, almost saying that these four people are either being supported or evading taxes. In any case, they have committed a crime. Otherwise, how could they earn so much? In this case, MC's fans were unwilling and immediately tweeted at, saying that this is the biological mother of our MC boy group Shen Yunlin. Shen's jewelry group has tens of billions of assets, so what's wrong with driving a supercar? This hot search is really attractive. After all, celebrities can only attract a small number of people, but supercars are enough to ignite the nerves of everyone, especially men. Just like why many men reject women chasing celebrities, because this woman is spending money for other men, but not for him. At this time, people who were attracted by various sports cars said anything, but Liao Yun saw from the paparazzi's photos that these brats MC actually secretly carried him out to eat. So just when Xiezing and the others were in the private room and were about to take their first bite of food, Liao Yun called. "Will you answer it or not?" The familiar magic sound appeared, and the five people's nerves were tense instantly. Xiezing asked cautiously. Everyone quickly shook their heads. Even if they were to pick it up, they would have to finish the meal before picking it up. Be a starving ghost. Having just experienced the feeling of soaring in a supercar, Li Nangzi, Ji Yanli, and Gu Yunzheng became more courageous. Okay, let's eat. Xiezing put the phone aside, and then everyone started eating. Zhang Yuz also sat aside and ate with him. This is the most luxurious private kitchen in Shangjing City, so it is full of color, flavor, and taste. The key is that the quantity is small. There is no fear that these celebrities eat too much. Besides, they train 12 hours a day and can digest no matter how much they eat. Shen Yunlin, who has been practicing dance recently, has lost all the good abdominal muscles he has maintained. It's not easy to eat such delicious food, including sea cucumbers, shark's fins, and other things that you can't even call famous. I tried them all. It took only a few chopsticks for each person to eat this dish, which just allowed everyone to taste more delicious dishes. As a result, everyone was stunned when they finished the meal and paid the bill, only to realize that they had eaten 350,000 yuan in one meal. Oh my god, if my mother knew I was eating 350,000 yuan a meal, she would probably beat me. Li Nangzi held his belly, feeling that what he had just eaten was not food, but gold. I've never eaten something so expensive, but it's because of Xing's glory. Ji Yanli was also shocked and thought it was awesome. But don't eat too much of this food, or you will get fat. Gu Yunzheng still felt that it was important to stay in shape. However, Xiezing's eyes lit up when he heard everyone's words. If you like it, I'll ask the butler to ask if we can provide a delivery service, so that we can eat delicious food every day and help me spend some money along the way. Xiezing is not stingy about spending money on his brothers when he has money. Besides, everyone eats and drinks together, so it seems that there is no problem in spending hundreds of thousands for a meal. Okay, Mr. Xie, I'll make arrangements right now. Regardless of whether people are willing or not, as long as they have money, they are willing, and Xiezing has one, even if he eats sea cucumbers and abalone every day. Shen Yunlin was very calm and said directly. If you just rely on food, no matter how much you eat, you won't be able to spend all the money before the concert. Don't think about it. It's 1 billion. You might as well buy a villa or something that can increase in value. Really no, doesn't my mother own a company? If you have so much money, you can directly invest in our MC company, and then I will ask my mother to hold shares for you. For the sake of his brothers, the expenses given by Shen Yunlin were too high. After all, investing in the company was all about money. That's right. Zeng. If you really want to spend money, buy IP. Wouldn't it be okay to buy some good IP and then be an investor yourself to make movies and TV series? Nowadays, a large-scale TV series requires several billion, your money will definitely be spent. The banquet ceremony also thought of ways to spend money and gave Xiezing advice. Xiezing felt that everyone's ideas were very good, so he quickly took out the small notebook he carried with him, and then carefully recorded it. While recording, he looked at everyone with eyes full of curiosity, which made everyone think that this child is too cute. And I feel like it's too deceptive. Anyway, in the end, all the plans to acquire Weibo were announced, but it was a pity that the money was not enough, otherwise Xiezing might really give it a try. When everyone returned home after playing, they saw Liao Yun with a gloomy face, and then he was scolded. The center revolves around the self-management of idols. Idols cannot eat crazy, who will like you if you gain weight, etc. Anyway. Everyone listened, but they listened casually. There are also hot searches. The four of you know how to drive a sports car out, but the fans can't find Zeng. Now every minute they ask you if you are having internal strife and bullying Zeng. Why don't you check the hot searches? Following Liao Yun's words, everyone quickly opened their mobile phones and saw the above topics about the MC boy group and supercars. Then someone thought that the four of them were bullying Xiezeng. What the hell is this? You can tell that you bought it just by looking at it, right? You're trying to stir up dissension. The cars they drive are all from Zeng, so where is the bullying? And I wasn't driving because I didn't have a driver's license. Xiezing was helpless. He didn't know that netizens were thinking so quickly. Finally, under Liao Yun's advice, he started posting on Weibo, and everyone did it. Fans online have really started to scold him, especially Xiezing's only fans. When several other fans are busy showing off that they have supercars, Xiezing's absence makes people feel even more uncomfortable, so naturally there are differences. Just when the scolding war started to heat up, my idol came out to speak out. MC boy group Xiezing v. I don't drive because I haven't taken my driver's license test yet, but I will try my best to get my driver's license soon. As soon as this Weibo post came out, Wei fans were temporarily satisfied, and Tuan fans also said, look, it's not because Zing doesn't have a driver's license. But there are still people who are cheating. They say you can sit in the passenger seat without a driver's license. Why not let them sit? As a result, just when they were about to start a quarrel, the other four members of the MC boy group all posted on Weibo, and then, everyone was dumbfounded. MC boy group Li Nangzi v. The sports car belongs to Zing, I'm just driving it, don't make a fuss, it will affect my lap. MC men's group Season Banquet v. The sports car belongs to Zing, I'm just driving it, please don't make trouble and disturb me from kneeling. MC boy group Guyun's Hung v. The sports car belongs to Zing, I only drive it for a while, please don't make trouble and affect the relationship between brothers. In the end, Shen Yunlin followed the same pattern, and the car was actually said to be Xiezing's. So, Xiezing, do you have any other secrets that we don't know? People came forward and said that the sports car belonged to Xiezing. It was not a lie. The fans calmed down, which made Liao Yun feel relieved. And early the next morning, several members of the MC men's team had to get up again to train quickly. After the morning vocal class, breakfast worth hundreds of thousands was delivered, and everyone ate happily. Of course, as soon as they finished eating, Zhang Yuz came with someone to design performance costumes for them. Mr. He is a very good costume designer. That's right, it was just to design a performance costume. Zhang Yuz directly found connections and invited the chief designer of Chanel. Don't ask. The question is, who can have trouble with money? Even the chief designer has to eat. Mr. Xie is the best customer of their brand and must be respected. Ah, Xiezing was shocked, and several other MCs were also shocked. As celebrities in the entertainment industry, they will naturally be popularized about the fashion industry. It is said that people in the fashion industry are extremely arrogant and look down on them the most, and they are the most slender little stars. As a result, the chief designer has been invited here. Zhang Yuz had already calmed down following Xie Tingzhou, and quickly explained to Xie Zing in a low voice. Mr. Xie is a high-quality customer of Chanel, so I contacted him and said that he wanted to design performance clothes. Of course, it is possible, but the price is relatively expensive, but it is just within your affordability. In the past, anyone who wanted to wear a high-end dress from another brand had to borrow it, but now the designer comes directly here? Xie Zing looked at the chief designer in front of him. He originally wanted to say whether he should speak English or something, but he didn't expect that he directly spoke Chinese, and he was very fluent, and he was particularly enthusiastic about Xie Zing. So after a conversation, they really started to show the designer their songs and requirements for the next stage. After Liao Yun learned about this, he brought the bosses of the company to the front row to watch. After a morning of understanding, the chief designer of Chanel was finally sent away, and the money was spent. So, how much did it cost? Seeing Xie Zing's helpless look, the four of them were a little worried. As a result, Xie Zing immediately cheered up again, his eyes shining. I just ordered the costumes for the performance. It is estimated that we have about 5 or 80 sets, which will cost a deposit of 10 million and a balance of 30 million. I suddenly felt that I can spend all the 1 billion. The 4 members of the MC boy group were also shocked. What a fool. It's stage costumes worth a total of 40 million. It's not 40 yuan, my dear. How can you make it final? When they thought that they were going to stand on the stage wearing costumes worth 40 million yuan, the 4 of them were so excited that they couldn't say anything. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin. Chapter 46. Whatever we do, we have to do our best. So we must work extra hard for this stage. We deserve this costume. Xie Zing encouraged everyone. It really made the other 4 members of the MC feel like they were in trouble. Liao Yun was also very moved. Looking at the scene with the boss of the company, they just felt that Xie Zing really likes to be a star, not for making money, everyone's so rich. This time Xie Zing paid 40 million for the stage costumes alone. How much money can they make for the entire concert? However, it is not Xie Zing's company that is doing the handover procedures, it is Xie Zing's housekeeper who is following up. Their company's hundreds of course I am happy. As for you saying it was not made by the company, so you are not allowed to wear it? Please. Are you kidding me? Chanel's chief designer comes to design stage clothes for the MC boy band. What a cool thing. Can you tell me that half of the entertainment industry would be envious to death? You must know that these days, only celebrities in the entertainment industry are kneeling in the fashion industry. How can such a fashion industry master come down to earth to make clothes for these small stars in the entertainment industry? So Xie Zing's company is really happy. As long as they are not allowed to spend money and can make the show better, there is no problem at all. Xie Zing seemed to have found a way to spend money, so as long as he needed to change his musical instruments and daily clothes, he changed them. That's right. Since you have money and don't need to rent other people's clothes, why can't you just buy them? Therefore, Xie Zing, under the arrangement of life manager Zhang Yuz, also started the process of burning money on clothing. After all, as a father, Mr. Of course, the money is not bad for the things. While Xie Zing and the MC boy band were practicing harder because of their expensive costumes, Xie Tingzhou went to another place with his wife, daughter, and godson. That is hidden in a place that no one can see, Red Maple Manor. Hongfeng Manor is located on the east side of Hongyu Lake. It was originally a hilltop, covering an area of 18,000 square meters. Doesn't it sound awesome? But in fact, 10,000 of them are forests. All kinds of rare plants and trees grow in the town. You can take a car directly when you go up. There are maple trees on both sides. It is naturally beautiful in autumn, and there are beautiful trees planted along the road. Pink tulips make people feel happy along the way. After passing through such a maple forest, you can finally see the huge red maple manor. An entire white building is located there layer by layer. It is almost impossible to tell how many buildings there are. The whole feeling it is solemn and beautiful, and there are large tracts of golden tulips at the door, making the entire White Castle even more beautiful. No one thought that there was such a place in such a jungle. This is Red Maple Manor. The total construction area is about 8,000 square meters. It has the most comfortable living environment, integrating leisure entertainment, beautiful food, sports facilities, etc. There is a private parking lot on the top floor. Private jets can park there. The entire Hongfeng Manor uses the most advanced foreign high-tech methods, uses body scanning facilities to install security systems, and implements comprehensive automation. The housekeeper who was selling the Red Maple Manor was introducing the Red Maple Manor to Xie Tingzhou and the others. When their car drove in, the door opened automatically. Then when they got closer to the castle, they realized that the architecture of these castles was somewhat European style. It has a kind of retro magnificence. Even the white walls you see are actually carved with complex patterns, which is very artistic. After entering the door, there is a huge musical fountain, with a beautiful statue of the goddess standing in the middle. It is even more holy. After bypassing the musical fountain and looking towards the dead end, there is only one word of beauty to describe the place you can see everywhere. Xie Jiayu was almost blinded by the sight. Huang Xinyu came to appreciate the manor for the first time and was very curious about this kind of place, let alone Lan Huan. Naturally, Lan Huan had never seen it before. Xie Tingzhou is the calmest. He has seen the vast universe and seen too many things that humans have seen with the naked eye, so these are relatively ordinary to him. The housekeeper took me to visit several houses, including bedrooms, living rooms, study rooms, music rooms, etc. It is really beautiful, and every room is so beautiful that it makes people's hearts beat. Of course, they could not visit the more than 8,000 square meter building in one day. They had already seen the video last night, and today they mainly just watched a few scenery. Standing at the highest point of Hongfeng Manor, you can overlook the entire Shangjing city. This is a feeling of seeing all the mountains at a glance, which will make people feel extremely comfortable. Ah! Xie Jiayu couldn't help but scream. Lan Huan was also smiling and shouted along with his sister. He was 27 years old and was as excited as a child. Huang Xinyu also laughed and was hugged by Xie Tingzhou. I think this place is very suitable for stargazing. When you look up at night, the stars in the sky will be beautiful. She recalled that when the two of them were young, the city was not full of high-rise buildings, so the stars in the sky could be clearly seen. Unlike now, when you look up, neon lights are flashing. Then I'll watch the stars with you at night. Xie Tingzhou said, feeling that his life was very comfortable now. Do you still remember when we were 16 and there was a meteor shower? Huang Xinyu asked again, remembering that it was popular at that time to wish on a shooting star. They were really naive. Guess what I wished for at that time? The 16-year-old girl had not yet been able to walk out of the orphanage. The meteor shower in the middle of the night was so romantic that Huang Xinyu still had fresh memories. Under that meteor shower, which was actually just beautified by memory, she had already made a wish to be with the man next to her forever. People together. I think it must have been the same as me at that time, Xie Tingzhou answered, kissing the side of Huang Xinyu's face. His voice was gentle and full of joy. Must be hoping that the meteor will bring us together forever. Huang Xinyu also laughed when she heard this answer, knowing that her husband's wish back then was exactly the same as hers. Everyone played at the top for a while, and then went to the glass flower house and the central lake that Xie Jiayu wanted to visit most. The glass flower house is a huge glass house filled with all kinds of beautiful flowers from all over the world. They are raised and cultivated by more than 30 professional rangers. The entire greenhouse is full of flowers. When everyone walks in, they feel as if they are in a fairy tale world. The greenhouse covers an area of nearly 1,000 square meters. There is a rotating glass staircase that leads to the top. You can see all kinds of flowers from every direction. All this is really so romantic that one can almost be speechless and can only exclaim. The last step is to the central lake. There is also a central lake pavilion built of glass in the central lake. When everyone stands on the shore, they see that it is really high-tech under their feet. I don't know where the switch comes from, so that a road is laid out on the lake. The glass plank road is enough for 5 people to walk parallelly. The left and right sides are even inlaid with sparkling gems, which sparkle in the sun and are particularly beautiful. When you step on this plank road, you can see the surging water of the central lake below through the glass of the plank road, and you can even see the small fish under your feet. It is really a different kind of beauty. The same goes for the central lake pavilion. The glass pavilion of the central lake pavilion should be hot at noon, but when people walk in, it is extremely cool. This is because of the high-tech air conditioning measures, and I don't know what kind of things are used to let in the outside light. The sunlight is reflected out and is not absorbed by the top. When everyone stood in the middle of the lake pavilion, the glass plank was retracted, and then people brought food and drinks using a high-tech device that could float on the water. What is this button? Xie Jiayu liked this villa very much and was extremely curious at this time. The butler spoke. This is the master's romance, you can give it a try. Xie Jiayu didn't understand, so she pressed it. Then nothing happened. Just when Xie Jiayu was wondering, a gust of wind blew from nowhere. It was a gentle wind. Then she saw petals of various colors floating from nowhere, accompanied by a small amount of fragrance. Come, and then more and more. Xie Tingzhou and Huang Xinyu stood in the pavilion in the middle of the lake and admired the scene of flying petals in the sky. It was so beautiful that it made people feel like they were in a dream. The petals even flew for half an hour and landed on the artificial lake. Inside, you can see all kinds of beautiful petals on the lake. Sure enough, romance requires money. The more romantic it is, the more expensive it is. After Xie Jiayu was stunned, she realized that the water in the artificial lake was changed once a day, so there was no need to worry too much, and such a rain of petals was one of the beautiful things that could be seen at the lake pavilion. Think about it, you are standing in the pavilion in the middle of the lake, admiring the clear water and the romantic petals all over the sky. What a beautiful picture it is. There are other places, but you can't see them in one day. Xie Jiayu finally sighed. This pavilion in the middle of the lake is really suitable for a proposal. Lan Huan also felt romantic, but still said, yes, if the person being proposed to doesn't agree, just leave him on the lake pavilion. Anyway, he doesn't have a glass plank, so he can't get out, so he has to agree. As soon as these words came out, everyone present laughed, even Xie Tingzhou laughed. After looking at the leaves, Xie Tingzhou asked about the price. The entire red maple villa is sold for 2.8 billion, but due to the special situation here, it needs constant maintenance after buying it. If you live here, the maintenance cost alone will be at least 100 million a year. The housekeeper gave the selling price, and the price was really off the charts. There was no way. This place was also decorated in the style of landscape painting at first, but the young master got crazy and followed other people's wishes and changed the red maple villa like this. Therefore, the old man got angry and decided to sell it at a lower price. So it is very suitable for young people to live here. Xie Tingzhou thought it was a good place, and his wife and daughter liked it very much, so he took out the black card and gave it to the housekeeper Huang Yu. That's it, swipe the card. After swiping the card, take the contract to Zing to sign. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 47. After swiping the card quickly, the Xie family sat in a pavilion to enjoy the cool air. It was noon now. Hongfeng Villa really lived up to its name. It was warm in winter and cool in summer. Just sitting in the pavilion outside, there was a gentle breeze blowing, which was beautiful. Looking at the sparkling lake outside, it was also a peaceful time. But this place is pretty good, but it's too leisurely. You still need to be rigorous in the workplace. Xie Tingzhou finally gave his judgment, which was unanimously agreed by Huang Xinyu and Xie Jiayu. The two did not think that this place was for their son to live alone. In the future, the whole family will definitely move here. If the son works here, there will be too many strangers. Huang Xinyu has been very busy recently. When her husband is crazy about shopping and her daughter is crazy about playing, someone has to look at the account book, right? Although it is not a big account book, the account books of the 4 life managers are finally gathered here by Huang Xinyu. Huang Xinyu has to take a look even if it is just for the sake of meaning. Their family's clothing purchase bills, servants hiring bills, daily expenses bills, although these are useless to Xie Tingzhou, but Huang Xinyu always takes a look. Of course, ordinary things are just a casual look, and valuable items need to be carefully checked, mainly to remember where these things are placed. Huang Xinyu just remembered the entire Hongyu Lake, and now it has been replaced by the 8,000 square meters Hongfeng Villa. Huang Xinyu is overwhelmed. Yes, Dad, my mom and I will live here in the future. Hongyu Lake is very good, and I like this place too, but it's too big. I can use it to entertain friends in the future. Xie Jiayu also took her father's advice seriously, and Huang Yu said immediately, "Sir, there is a newly built office building on the 4th Ring Road of Shangjing City. Although it is a little far away, there is a huge helipad on the roof. I think if Mr. Xie works there, he can just take a plane back to Hongfeng Villa after work. It is very fast. I calculated the time and it will take half an hour." Huang Yu was talking about a small private plane, which is different from the expensive luxury version of the private plane bought by Xie Jiayu. Small private planes can only fly short distances, such as flying within the city, but the plane bought by Xie Jiayu can go abroad and can carry many people. This is good, then go to that office building to have a look, and prepare a private plane for Zing, a smaller one. Xie Tingzhou is very generous to his sons and daughters. Of course, he is also generous to his wife. Huang Xinyu woke up and went to the dressing room, and there was no end to the clothes and bags. Huang Xinyu, who was reluctant to buy before and only had a few to support the scene, now has a few bags worth millions and doesn't feel bad at all. It's funny because she can't use them all. Besides, although the husband said that he bought it for his son, can his son live in such a big place alone? Everyone still lives together, so Huang Xinyu will not stop Xie Tingzhou. Xiaojiakai, you stay to handle the follow-up matters here, and the other thing is to recruit again, and the security here must be in place. Find a few professional companies to come. Xie Tingzhou is most generous with his money, which is the bodyguard. The bodyguard company he asked the housekeepers to find is the kind that has retired special forces soldiers, each of whom is very capable, and there are even many female special forces soldiers, who can go out with Huang Xinyu and Xie Jiayu when the time comes. Yes, Sir Xiaojiakai has been guarding the rear, so she has no objection to such an arrangement. Another housekeeper is named Ningdong, also a little girl, a serious person. Although Xie Tingzhou usually doesn't use her, she helps Huang Xinyu with the bills at home, and the arrangement of Xie Jiayu's various items is all in Ningdong's hands. Everyone has their own duties and arrangements. It took more than 2 hours for everyone to arrive at the 4th Ring Road of Shangjing City, and then they saw the office building recommended by Huang Yu. Huang Yu had already made an appointment in advance, so after coming here, there was a professional to introduce this office building to Xieting Zhou and others. The office building here is indeed a little remote, but the strange thing is that there is a subway entrance at the door of his company, and he can go to the company directly after coming out, which is very convenient. The office building is also completely integrated, and it can be used as an office or a canteen. The whole building is very high, with dozens of floors, but it is not a problem for Xieting Zhou. Sister, you understand these things, you see, I will buy it if you think it's okay. At this time, Xieting Zhou showed that he didn't understand it very well, and Huang Xinyu would not find it strange. After all, Xieting Zhou had no experience working in an office building before, so he didn't know what the selling point of this building was. The building here should have been newly built and not directly rented out, so it was cheap for Xieting Zhou. This is a good place. We can move in after buying it and placing some supplies. It's very nice. After seeing it, Huang Xinyu liked the building very much, and felt that the orientation here was very good. It would be good for her son to work here in the future. The woman who sold the building was also very happy when she heard it, and praised Huang Xinyu. So Xieting Zhou spent 800 million and got a building. The rest was what the building should need as an entertainment company. This time, Xieting Zhou directly entrusted Ning Dong with an important task and asked Ning Dong to handle the subsequent placement of various musical instruments and other things. Sure enough, Ning Dong was very happy when he said this. After a day of work, not to mention Xieting Zhou was tired, Huang Xinyu and Xie Jiayu were tired and returned home to rest. Xie Xing, who had just finished dancing practice, hadn't spent his own money yet, so he remembered that the butler asked Zhang Yus for an autograph in the morning. What kind of contract was that this morning? How did you bring it over for me to sign? People came and went in such a hurry that Xie Xing was embarrassed to ask. He only knew that the other person was his father and could be trusted. Mr. It's better not to ask. Xie Xing suddenly opened his mouth and didn't know what to say. Listen to the name, Villa. It must be expensive, right? Xie Xing thought that he had not spent all 100 million yet. Suddenly I felt like Alexander. Just when Xie Xing was struggling with how to spend 1 billion, Xieting Zhou met the person who had been missing for 3 days. Of course, this person is Huo Feng, who is out busy. Huo Feng has brought the latest information about Xinggui Entertainment. Huo Feng put the information on the table and said, maybe I haven't investigated anything deeper, but this information is enough to bankrupt Xinggui Entertainment. Everything in the entertainment industry is traceable, making it easier to investigate. Xieting Zhou picked up the information and looked at it. It was exactly as he predicted. Xinggui Entertainment likes the drinking and dining culture, and many of the small artists who signed contracts there have been abused. However, even some famous artists are as bad as Xinggui Entertainment. Some of them may have been victims at the beginning, but eventually became perpetrators. Not only that, Xinggui Entertainment also has financial problems. Tax evasion is just the simplest. There are also yin and yang contracts and some big productions suspected of whitewashing. These are enough for Xinggui Entertainment to drink a pot. It seems that this company is indeed very shady, Xieting Zhou commented after reading the information. Huo Feng nodded. When our people investigated, they found that they bought Xie Xing's trending hacker search 2 days ago. It may be that they had contacted Xing before about signing a contract, but now it's gone, so they wanted to hack him. After all, the simpler the entertainment industry's methods against celebrities, the more effective they are. If you throw dirty water on celebrities, the company's stock price will plummet. Well, then let's take action and arrange for your people to put Xinggui Entertainment on the hot search. Don't be too anxious. Take your time and do it one by one. If Xinggui Entertainment cannot find out that they are targeting it all at once, Xieting Zhou will slowly grind people to death. Okay, I'll make arrangements right now. Huo Fen would not target those clean celebrities, but Xinggui Entertainment was a big drug den, and he would not be lenient at all. At 9 o'clock that night, just as netizens were enjoying the joy of the internet, a hot search ranked first. Hashtag just landed like this. Who is Zhang Emo? This is the actor of Xinggui Entertainment. The kind of veteran actor. His character is that he loves his wife, loves his children, and is dedicated to his work. He has won many awards over the years, and can be said to be the star of Xinggui Entertainment. But now there is a thunderstorm. Netizens hurriedly flocked to eat the melon, and after opening it, there were all kinds of photos, all of which were large-scale, which made people look embarrassed, but they could tell that this person was Zhang Emo. Then after refreshing again, the photo disappeared. The public relations department of Xinggui Entertainment started working overnight and quickly contacted Weibo to delete it quickly. However, there are so many netizens who eat melons, and those photos have long been screenshots by netizens. If you delete them and they still post them, you can't post them here. There had long been a buzz among private people. Anyway, Zhang Emo was on the hot search list, and he probably won't have the chance to be on it again in the future. Suppress the news. The vice president of Xinggui Entertainment was furious and pointed at the manager of the public relations department and scolded him, but it was of no use. There are so many netizens with these photos that I can't suppress them at all. As we all know, if you want to suppress a news, you must expose a bigger news to suppress it, but who is more famous than Zhang Emo? If you can't suppress it, you have to suppress it. Otherwise, look at the stocks tomorrow. The vice president was so angry that he could hear his voice several floors away, but what was the use of it? Celebrities are explosive, something that usually cannot be stopped. The public relations department of Xinggui Entertainment quickly issued a statement saying that the person in the photo was not Zhang Emo and that we would call the police if you do this. Just when netizens were mocking them, a short video began to circulate somewhere, so everyone knew that Zhang Emo really did a multiplayer exercise. It was so disgusting and dirty. How many fans turned from fans to fans directly? Even passers-by will take a sip when they see it. This was destined to be a restless night. Netizens were jumping up and down in the melon field, and in the excitement, the next morning the stock price of Xinggui Entertainment plummeted like an avalanche. And they don't know yet, this is just the beginning. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin. Chapter 48. Today's Xinggui Entertainment is destined to be green. Not only is the face of the chairman of Xinggui Entertainment green, but the stock is also green. All the shareholders who bought Xinggui Entertainment stocks are also cursing, but there is no way. Playing stocks is like this. Losses and profits are completely out of your control. A night of revelry brought about the collapse of the economy. Xinggui Entertainment's stocks fell a lot, but even so, it still did not really fall to the bottom, otherwise what is there to play? An entertainment company and a star have problems, and the stock has fallen. Isn't that very strange? After all, these days, there are stocks that have soared just by relying on celebrity information, but there are still few that have directly fallen to the limit. Zhang Emo alone can't completely kill Xinggui Entertainment. When everyone got up in the morning, many people opened the hot search. The hot search was already a peaceful place where there was no news. After all, Xinggui Entertainment paid money, and Weibo naturally had to block and delete these things cleanly, otherwise wouldn't it be hot to receive money? Now Weibo takes money from others for marketing, and everyone knows that it is the most tacit thing. Inside the Hongyu Lake Villa, Lao Lu, who was monitoring the internet information, looked at his boss. Boss, the news on the internet has indeed been deleted. What a fast speed. Huo Fen was sorting out other information about Xinggui Entertainment and was not surprised to hear this. It's okay, then continue to expose it tonight. Tonight, expose the information of the female star in Xiao Xiao. Her information is much more explosive. This is obviously what paparazzi should do, but Huo Feng didn't expect that he would lead his team to do this one day, and he was in a complicated mood. Yes, several people nodded immediately, and then began to sort out the information about the female star in Xiao Xiao. Unexpectedly, Xie Jiayu called. Huo Feng was also a little surprised when he saw Xie Jiayu's call. Jiayu, what's the matter? Xie Jiayu seemed very cold on the other end of the phone. She was more noisy when she followed Lan Huan later. Lan Huan was a person who could easily bring good mood to others. Brother Huo, my father asked you to do something. Is it related to Xinggui Entertainment? Last night, Xinggui Entertainment was the hot search. The news about the movie star Zhang Emo was naturally pushed on the phone. Xie Jiayu felt that this matter was related to her father. Well, your father ordered it? This company has harmed your brother before, and your father is angry. Give a simple answer directly. Xie Jiayu was not surprised to hear it, just said. Then you are busy, and we will play together after you are done. My family bought a villa these 2 days, and I will invite you to come and play. After the phone hung up, Huo Feng stared at the phone for a while. The faces of the father and daughter of the Xie family intertwined in his mind, making Huo Feng not quite understand whether he agreed to stay because he was coerced or because he was willing. The entertainment circle is also very lively. Don't think that celebrities don't eat melons. Celebrities also like to eat melons and are also very gossipy. Privately, they all ask Zhang Emo who he offended and why he killed someone directly with one shot. On the surface, this group sex seems to be legal, but in fact, if it is exposed, it will be impossible for Zhang Emo to continue to appear on the big screen in the future. All of Zhang Mo's previous works will also be mosaicked, which is a very serious social impact problem. Many agents in the circle also exchanged information with each other, wondering who Zhang Emo had offended, but there was no sound. It always felt that this matter was like a rumor, coming and going quickly, and no one reacted. Just after the peaceful day, when everyone thought that Xinggui Entertainment's public relations were awesome and suppressed the matter so quickly, Xinggui Entertainment was exposed for the second time. Hashtag in Xiao Xiao dinner hashtag. This time, the one who was exposed was in Xiao Xiao, the pure actress of Xinggui Entertainment. She has been the queen of idol dramas for 5 years and has a pure baby face. As a result, when netizens clicked on the video, they saw that in Xiao Xiao was sitting on the man's lap and smoking, and she was married to him. She was simply a veteran among veterans. How could she be pure? The video was edited, and the men changed 5 or 6 times. And Xiaoxiao's pure personality was completely destroyed. And she smoked, drank, and hugged a man, and she hugged an ugly man with a big belly, which became a nightmare that fans could not get rid of. Now the fans turned from fans to haters overnight, and they wanted to cry after their glass hearts were broken. Moreover, netizens were also very powerful. They soon found out that the big guys in Xiaoxiao's dinner party were all very powerful. And Xiao Xiao came here to accompany the wine. So Xinggui Entertainment made a deal with some stars? Now that things have developed to this point, even if everyone is slow to react, they know that the information about Xiao Xiao exposed this time is not aimed at Xiao Xiao, but at Xinggui Entertainment. This Xinggui Entertainment is not a good place. They actually let stars accompany the wine. And Xiao Xiao is so powerful and such a famous female star has to accompany the wine, so what about others? For a while, other male and female stars of Xinggui Entertainment were sent to the hot search, which made the people of Xinggui Entertainment unable to suppress it. What's going on? What big shot did the company offend? Are they trying to kill us? It's okay if the female stars were exposed, but the men that Xiao Xiao accompanied were also exposed. This made the people in Xinggui Entertainment quickly contact people to delete videos and photos, but they couldn't delete them all. We contacted Weibo to delete them, but it would take more than a short time. I don't know. This doesn't seem to be done by someone in the industry. I have contacted several water army companies, but they don't know. Boss, did you offend someone? The PR department is right. They are trying to mess with Zingui Entertainment, not to mess with the artists of Zingui Entertainment, so they just start with the artists. The company must have offended someone. How should I know? The CEO of Zingui Entertainment was very angry. It was not because he didn't know who he offended, but because he had offended too many people in the past. How could he count them now? The stock market was already miserable today, and now this was exposed. After the night, the next day, the stock of Zingui Entertainment directly hit the limit. Everyone was dumbfounded, but they also had to say that it was what they deserved. Xieting Zhou also saw the news and called Huo Feng, praising Huo Feng for doing a good job. These two large scandals were enough to influence public opinion and thus affect the stock. Then, the next step was to take. When netizens were all trying to uncover the truth and saying that someone was targeting Zingui Entertainment, on the third night, everyone was secretly waiting for news, and this time it was even more explosive. This time, photos of the CEO of Zingui Entertainment and various female celebrities you know or don't know were exposed. They are all from Zingui Entertainment. This really broadened the fans' horizons. I know you are messy, but I don't know how you are messy. You are a CEO who runs a company, and you want to turn the company into a harem. Now all those who have been fans of Zingui Entertainment stars have quit online, because the CEO of Zingui Entertainment is really indifferent to both sexes, and he wants both men and women, which is extremely disgusting. The nude photos of their boss are everywhere, and the people of Zingui Entertainment don't know what to do. They can't delete them all, and the public relations say that it's useless. It has lost any public relations effect. Someone is killing Zingui. On the night when the CEO of Zingui Entertainment was furious, the police came directly to the door and took the person away in the name of summons, which has become a hot search again. Plan step by step, spread out layer by layer of information network, and easily kill an entertainment company. All the senior executives in Zingui Entertainment were taken away. There were some reports from victims, financial problems, and tax evasion. It is estimated that everyone will be in jail in the end. In 3 days, Zingui Entertainment completely ceased to exist in such a peaceful night. Other entertainment companies in the entertainment circle hurriedly cleaned up their tails, fearing that they had offended someone and were killed by a series of attacks like Zingui Entertainment. After a week of Zingui's news on Weibo, Zingui Entertainment was completely bankrupt, and its boss and various senior executives were confirmed to have committed crimes. It is estimated that they will sing in prison in the future. Netizens are very happy to know such a gratifying ending, and feel that evil will be punished. Xieting Zhou also thinks that Huo Feng did a good job. It only cost less than 200 million to bring down Zingui Entertainment this time. After all, the information network alone is enough to kill an entertainment company. After solving Zingui Entertainment, Xieting Zhou used the remaining 2 billion yuan to let Huo Feng set up an entertainment company. At that time, he would recruit a group of people to monitor other stars. The entertainment industry is a place for the public. How can we allow stars who violate laws and conduct bad behavior to exist? This company was established to do this job. Xieting Zhou does not need rewards. He just wants to make the entertainment industry where his son stays cleaner. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the main task of It's Getting Cold, Let Zingui Go Bankrupt. Since the host completed the task in 15 days, he is an extremely excellent host. The cash back will be doubled this time. The 6 billion bonus has been deposited into the host's account. Please keep up the good work and create more glory. Hearing the sound of unlimited black cards, Xieting Zhou was in a good mood. It would be even better if he had 6 billion in the account. The entertainment industry was turbulent. The people in the MC boy group were busy practicing dancing. Although they heard gossip about Xingui, it didn't have much to do with them. Instead, Xiezing thought of the people from Xingui who had contacted him before. He heard from his father that the people from Xingui seemed to have contact with Su Yunhan. Thinking of this, Xiezing called his father in a somewhat tangled way, wanting to ask if this matter had anything to do with his father. "Hello? Xing, why did you think of calling your father?" Xieting Zhou was very happy. How could he not be happy when his son called him? Xiezing's ears blushed when he heard this happy voice, and then he asked, "Dad, does Xingui Entertainment have anything to do with you?" He was afraid of his own self-conceit, and as a result, he heard Xieting Zhou's answer on the other end. "Oh, that was done by me. That broken company actually dared to plot against you, so I bankrupted it directly. Don't worry, you just walk sideways in the entertainment industry in the future. If any company dares to provoke you, I will bankrupt it in minutes." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Good man, he has a golden finger. Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 49. When Xiezing hung up the phone, he felt extremely complicated. Thinking about his gentle and lovely mother, why would he fall in love with someone like his father? In my memory, when my mother talked about my father, she always said that he was very good to her. He would spend all his money to buy things for her, and would drop out of school to support her. Although he was somewhat romantic, he was not as overbearing as he is now. Or is this the kind of person Dad is? Mom has a filter? In fact, Xiezing and his sister Xiejiayu heard other children talk about them when they were young. Children are the most ignorant and straightforward, so they hurt people and are more cruel. Originally, Xiejiayu and Xiezing were bullied in school because they were good-looking. There are a lot of people who like them, and then there are some rumors that they don't like them both. The most common one is that Xiejiayu and Xiezing don't have fathers. Fortunately, Huang Xinyu got vaccinated in advance and told her son and daughter how much they loved each other, otherwise the two children would be really sad. Of course, the most important thing is that there are always people around who say that Xietunan abandoned her mother and them, so she can't be found. Obviously the police said there might have been an accident, but the rumors outside were terrible. Xiezing, like Huang Xinyu, had never doubted that her father had abandoned them, because according to her mother, her father and mother loved each other so much. How could they suddenly stop loving each other and then abandon them? Now Xieting Zhou's behavior after returning has also proved that he still loves them. While Xiezing is happy, he also feels that his father is a little funny and some are embarrassing to him. However, Xiezing was still very happy knowing that his father had become like that because of his revenge on Xingui Entertainment. After that, he became even more busy. In addition to his usual training, Xiezing began to spend money. Following Zhang Yu's recommendation, he also began to learn to buy some star-specific cosmetics and luxury goods, and began to spend hard. As the concert approaches, the Lan family couple has also arrived in Shangjing. Lan Huan drove his godfather's car over to pick him up. Ian's father and mother saw that their son was very energetic, and they felt relieved. "It seems like your godfather still likes you very much." Ian's father and Ian's mother knew that their son was living a good life here. It was evident in his son's circle of friends that he had all kinds of luxury cars and luxury things. However, Ian's father and Ian's mother had never thought of letting their son help develop the family's business. I know that my son is stupid and blessed, and he is not very good at business. It is better to let my son play with the boss. A little bit of the gap between the boss's fingers is enough for his son to live well, and he does not need to be in the business field. Intrigue. Of course my godfather likes me, and my godmother also takes good care of me. Parents, I said before that I have a sister and a brother. Have you brought gifts? My sister is so beautiful. It turns out that being a brother is this feeling, I can do it. Lan Huan is really happy. From the beginning, he suddenly wanted to hug his thighs, and now he has fun with Xie Jiayu every day. Not only do they play with the young men in Beijing, but they also occasionally do live broadcasts, which are very popular. Very high, it can be said that it allows Lan Huan to have both work and fun. Take it, you know. Seeing her son's silly look, Ian's mother was also happy. The couple did not train their son to be an elite type. They originally thought that they would work together for the rest of their lives and save some money for their son to spend, but they didn't expect that their son was a fool. People are stupid and lucky, so now they have benefited from it. Lan Huan took his parents all the way to Hongyu Lake. Although the Hongfeng villa was ready, the Xie family still lived in the villa on the Hongyu lakeside. It was the first time for the Lan family's parents to see such a good place. After listening to their son's chirping introduction, they thought it was quite good. After entering the door, the Lan family couple recognized Xie Tingzhou, Huang Xinyu, and Xie Jiayu. Mr. Xie, I took the liberty of visiting. Thank you for taking care of the dog these days. Ian's father talked to Xie Tingzhou, the two shook hands, and then sat on the sofa. Huang Xinyu and Lan Mu also hit it off. They both planned to attend tomorrow's concert and happened to go together. Lan Huan and Xie Jiayu were sitting nearby chatting together. The two had long been accustomed to playing together, almost touching each other, causing Huo Feng to frown after looking at them. The Lan family ended up living in Hongyu Lake, and the next day they went to a concert together. The MC boy band is also busy here. For the evening concert, they have to rehearse in advance at the Bird's Nest during the day. In addition, they are already wearing expensive Chanel costumes, which makes them even more nervous. However, they are still successful during the day. The rehearsal will be completed. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, it was time to check in. Xie Tingzhou and the others did not need to check in. Someone came to take them into the infield and sat at the front. After entering, he saw Mr. Shen and Shen Yiyan, and their positions were arranged together. Mr. Xie, I've waited for you. Let's go have dinner together after the concert. Shen Yiyan extended the invitation, and Xie Tingzhou nodded. After all, the sons were in the same team, and the new contract had to be arranged in the future. Everyone sat down. Next to Xie Tingzhou was Huang Xinyu. He squeezed Huang Xinyu's hand and remembered the time they went to the concert before. He didn't expect that they could watch his son's concert this time. When the audience entered the venue one after another, at 7 o'clock, the concert officially started. At this moment, when all the lights in the infield were extinguished, everyone was silent. Then a ray of light was projected over, and then accompanied by the explosive music, the 5 members of the MC boy band rose straight up from under the stage, and there was a scream of surprise. The shouts, the crazy shouts of girls everywhere, were extremely enthusiastic. The appearance of the MC boy group was in a cool silver style. Everyone was wearing different styles of silver costumes, but they gave people a very consistent feeling, flashing on the stage with their voices. Xie Zing accidentally exposed some of his ABS while dancing, causing fans to scream wildly. The bright lights were cast on the stage, and the young people's fiery voices and neat dance made people feel excited, and they couldn't help but beat the beat too. I have to say that the MC boy group has really worked hard to prepare for this concert, and the stage is really amazing. With a good opening, every stage that follows is surprising. There are stages with 5 people together, stages with 2s and 3s, and stages with 1 person alone. When it was Xie Zing's turn, he sat in a chair on the stage wearing the simplest black shirt and sang a song in the most eloquent voice. The name of this song is Mama, a song new songs that have never been released. Huang Xinyu, who was sitting in the audience, finally had red eyes, and was held in Xie Ting's arms to wipe her tears. At the end of the song, many people in the audience were moved to tears by the song. Sometimes music is like this, and sincere music can always move everyone. After that, every MC performance was wonderful. They played songs they had not released before and sang them for the first time in this concert, and it lasted until 11 o'clock. The 4-hour concert has officially come to an end. The whole audience was filled with the sound of encore. Looking at the 5 shining teenagers standing on the stage, the fans tonight were also the happiest people. Thank you all for coming to watch our MC boy group's farewell concert. Everyone knows that the MC boy group is a limited edition boy group. Originally, according to the normal time, we will officially disband today. Following the words of the banquet, the fans at the scene couldn't help but burst into tears, almost bursting into tears. But I can't let you go. And we brothers can't let each other go. Li Nangzi also said, his whole body was covered in sweat and his eyes were shining. So we decided to let the MC boy group continue. We will set up a new MC entertainment company to be responsible for MC's work arrangements. Please rest assured. This is Gu Yunzheng and Shen Yunlin. Xie Xing was still crying, and then he was pushed, and then he said in a crying voice, "Our MC boy group will never disband. The concert belonging to our MC boy group has just begun. Thank you everyone. We will continue to go." Following Xie Xing's voice, there were bursts of exclamations on the field, all filled with tears of joy. The adults sitting below had already heard such cries of joy. The entire bird's nest was filled with MC's never-ending shouts. At this moment, the fans' passionate love gathered into golden waves and waved in front of everyone's eyes. The members of the MC boy band put their arms around each other's shoulders and looked at the surging golden waves. No matter what happens in the future, at least at this moment, they all hope that MC will never disband and they will always be each other's best brothers. This MC boy group's farewell concert has become a hot topic, and the fact that they will not disband has become more known to many fans, and they also understand better what everyone at MC has done in order not to disband. Xie Xing, who had finished the concert, saw his parents and sister under the stage. This was his biggest dream, that all his family would come to his concert and watch him shine on the stage. In the end, Xie Xing jumped off the stage and rushed directly to hug his parents and sister. At this moment, he was the happiest person. Huang Xinyu felt the same way. She was hugged by her husband, as well as her daughter and son. All the suffering seemed to have finally ended, and now she finally ushered in a new life. She thought, how nice it would be if she could always be this happy. As if he could feel her thoughts, Xie Tingzhou kissed the side of her face and assured her, "We will all be happy in the future. Good man, he has a golden finger." Author, Zhanghu Buletin Jian. Chapter 50. After the concert ended that day, Shen Yiyan, the boss of Shen's jewelry group, was the host and invited all members of MC to have dinner together. Of course, there were also the Xie family and Lan Huan's family of 3. None of the parents of Li Nangzi, Ji Yanli, and Gu Yunzheng came. After all, they already knew from their sons that MC would not be disbanded, so they were not too worried. When they sat down to eat together, the 3 of them suddenly became nervous and allowed Shen Yunlin and Xie Xing to introduce them to Xie Tingzhou and Shen Yiyan. Fortunately, the talkative Lan Huan was among them, so everyone was not so embarrassed, and the meal was considered a happy one. Xie Tingzhou and Shen Yiyan took this opportunity to talk about the children's future work again, and said that they had bought a building and a manor. Even if they need to let 5 people live together in order to cultivate group souls, they can all do it. Live in Red Maple Manor. You are so generous. I heard someone say that Red Maple Manor was sold before. I guessed that you bought it, but I didn't expect that to be the case. Shen Yan gave Xie Tingzhou a thumbs up. After all, the maintenance of a manor is very expensive. Just like buying a private jet, it doesn't mean you can just buy it and put it there. Later maintenance requires money. Fortunately, Xinyu and the children like it very much. Red Maple Manor is also relatively large. If children like MC go home to sleep at night, there won't be too much noise. After all, with a building area of more than 8,000 square meters, one can live on the east side and the other on the west side without being disturbed at all. We have also prepared musical instruments and recording studios for the children. If we develop acting skills in the future, we can also hire more teachers. I personally selected the building over there. Mr. Shen can go and have a look. Huang Xinyu also spoke, knowing that Shenyan planned to open a company for the sake of her children, just like them. Okay, no problem, but Mr. Xie and Mrs. Xie are so generous, which makes the 200 million in company funds I gave them nothing. How about this? Mr. Xie also comes to invest in this company. Anyway, it will be arranged by then. Several children. Huang Xinyu looked at her husband and knew that her husband was not short of money. Okay, then I will also invest. The management will be left to Mr. Shen's people for the time being, but if something really goes wrong, I also have the right. Xie Tingzhou said this. How could Shenyan dare to disagree? In the end, Xie Tingzhou invested all the remaining funds from the task into the company, completing the task of helping Xie Zing create a comfortable workspace. MC and the others were shocked when they heard that Mr. Several members of the MC boy group looked at Xie Zing and couldn't help but ask. Zing, your family is so rich now, you won't quit, right? After all, if you don't enjoy yourself when you have money, it's wrong no matter how you look at it. No, I like the stage. Xie Zing shook his head and insisted on staying on the stage. That's good, that's good. Everyone was relieved. After all, the two young masters, Xie Zing and Shen Yunlin, both stay in the entertainment industry for their dreams. What right do they have not to work hard? After this concert, several members of the MC boy band terminated their contracts and re-signed contracts. In the end, Xie Zing received a signing bonus of 100 million, setting a record for the highest signing bonus in the entertainment industry and becoming a hot search topic. When negotiating with Aunt Chen, Xie Zing said that he could give less, but Aunt Chen insisted on giving more in order to thank him. Even Shen Yunlin did not side with him, and finally he got the 100 million signing bonus. After re-signing, the MC boy band plans to create a new album within half a year. Originally, there should be no inspiration for changing to a new company, but when I saw their company's new work building, I was really happy. There are all kinds of musical instruments that you can't think of and nothing you can't find, making everyone go crazy. After playing crazy and going home to sleep, I discovered that there was a private jet on the roof of their company. I sat in the private jet and was then taken to Red Maple Villa. Everyone has their own butler to take them to their own room, and Red Maple Villa even prepares daily clothes for them. They are all clothes sent by high-end luxury clothing brands, the kind that they can't wear for a whole year. Li Nangzi felt like she was going crazy, so happy that she went crazy. Ji Yanli felt that he had fallen and would never be able to return to a poor life in the future. Gu Yunzheng, the least materialistic person, was shocked by what he saw, and then he wrote a song. Shen Yunlin had long heard his mother talk about Mr. Xie's wealth, and now that he could live in Hongfeng Manor, it felt even more different. Half a year later, the MC boy group released a physical album, and each song had a music video. The production cost of the entire album exceeded 300 million. After it was released, it cost 30 yuan apiece. This is not a hard decision. Lose money? Just when everyone thought that the MC boy group would lose money, the songs in these albums rushed to the top of various charts one by one, and the sales of physical albums exceeded 1 million. It can be said that it's really awesome. In this way, the MC boy group has never disbanded. They maintain the frequency of one album and one concert a year, and shoot commercials and participate in various shows at other times. They are active in the entertainment industry and have become an evergreen tree in the entertainment industry. And what about Siejiayu? Since Siejiayu was rescued, she seemed to be free from body to soul. After her brother's concert, Siejiayu went abroad with Lan Huan without notifying Huo Feng. In the end, Huo Feng chased her out. She has not been home for 2 years. She has been playing outside. She has been to the highest and coldest snow-capped mountains, explored tropical jungles, experienced polar day and polar night, skydived, skied, and did various extreme sports abroad. Huang Xinyu was always a little scared when she saw these, but Xie Tingzhou said that someone was with Xie Jiayu, so Huang Xinyu didn't have to worry so much. After the couple welcomed a rare private happy time, they returned to the orphanage they once lived in. Xie Tingzhou renovated the orphanage, donated a lot of money, and even set up a foundation specifically for orphans. They revisited the old place, went to the former middle school, and met the former middle school teacher. After the teacher praised them for their talent and beauty, they also donated a new teaching building to the middle school so that the children could have new books to read. Of course, in order to thank the teachers for their care for them, Xie Tingzhou and Huang Xinyu also gave each teacher a house. Even if the teachers refused, they still gave it. After completing the youthful junior high school and high school, donating a large sum of money and building a teaching building, Huang Xinyu went to her alma mater, the place where Huang Xinyu was cultivated. Xie Tingzhou listened to his wife talking about the care of her teachers and the arrangements made by the school. In the end, Xie Tingzhou donated 2 buildings to the school in the name of Huang Xinyu, which were worth hundreds of millions. Huang Xinyu was very happy. When people don't have to think about money, they are happy about everything. Although the most worrying thing recently is that her daughter has never come back since she went to school and runs around, Huang Xinyu didn't bother after hearing her husband say that it didn't matter. As long as her daughter is happy, it's fine. Another year passed, and Xie Jiayu's work actually won an award at a powerful art exhibition abroad. It was the early colored rose. Xie Jiayu became a real hit. Many of her works have become new paintings that the rich appreciate and collect. When she knew about this, Huang Xinyu cried with joy, and Xie Tingzhou was also very happy. After Xie Xing returned home and was happy for his sister for a long time, he complained that there was a strange woman in the entertainment industry. When she saw him, she rushed over and asked him if he was reborn. She was just like a madman. Xie Tingzhou calmly asked the other person's name from his stupid son, and then went to see the other person the next day. This is a girl named Bai Jiayu, who looks 3 points similar to Xie Jiayu. She seems to have been hit and a little mentally ill. When he saw her, Xie Tingzhou heard the system's 818 voice. Congratulations to the host for recovering the world line. Successfully recovered a world line of she quit her stand after rebirth. Please keep working hard. After hearing the voice of System 818, Xie Tingzhou realized that it was no wonder that he had felt strange before. Why was the Xie family so unlucky? It turned out that this family was in the world line. Why did Xie Tunan love his wife so much, but he didn't love her inexplicably after getting an infinite black card? This is most likely related to the world line, and the world line changed his thinking logic. Check the original world line. Xie Tingzhou spoke, and with his voice, the content of a world line gradually unfolded in Xie Tingzhou's mind. This is a world line created by the woman in front of him, Bai Jiayu, and Su Yunhan. In this world line, the woman in front of him, Bai Jiayu, is a reborn person. In her previous life, she was kept by Su Yunhan because she looked similar to Xie Jiayu, and then she was abandoned. After rebirth, she wanted to take revenge on Su Yunhan, and ask Su Yunhan to fall in love with her and deeply abandon him. But she didn't expect that in the time county of this world, Su Yunhan was not a domineering president, but a prisoner who fell into prison. In Bai Jiayu's original timeline, Su Yunhan imprisoned Xie Jiayu, and Huang Xinyu killed Su Yunhan's mother Song Wen for revenge, but Su Liangzi did not die. After his mother's death, Su Yunhan had mixed feelings about Xie Jiayu, and naturally abused her in every way. Xie Jiayu knew the news of Huang Xinyu's suicide, and wanted to commit suicide, but was threatened by her brother. Xie Xing really signed a contract with Xinggui Entertainment, was forced to accompany drinking, and then was drugged and depraved. In the end, he was manipulated by the company to bite back at Shen Yunlin, and took Shen Yunlin on a road of no return, and finally both died of drug abuse. Xie Jiayu didn't know where she got the news of her brother's death, so she wanted to die with Su Yunhan, but she didn't expect Su Yunhan to be on guard, so she could only commit suicide. In the end, Su Yunhan also took over the entire Shen jewelry group, which can be said to be the limelight. Su Yunhan left a huge scar on his body. Later, when he faced Bai Jiayu, it became a proof of his deep love for Xie Jiayu, which made Bai Jiayu feel distressed. No one knew the crazy things he had done. Now Bai Jiayu was reborn according to the normal world line, but Su Yunhan no longer fits her role as the male protagonist, which naturally drove Bai Jiayu crazy. Xie Tingzhou did not do anything to Bai Jiayu, but just let her go. In this world, waiting for others to save you is the stupidest thing. When Xie Tingzhou returned to Hongfeng Villa, he saw his gentle wife, and Xie Jiayu and Xie Xing who had returned were bickering. He just felt that it was good now. He broke the world line with his own hands and would protect these people together. When he dies, he will also take away the unlimited black card personally.